Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you for taking the time to click on this video. God willing, in this video we will explore an interesting story about the journey of a wise king. Let's watch the story until the end. Once upon a time, at the peak of his kingdom's glory, there lived a great king named ZULKARNAIN. He was known as a wise leader and full of love for his people. ZULKARNAIN was respected throughout the country. However, behind the tranquility of his kingdom, ZULKARNAIN always felt a calling in his heart to explore the world and seek greater knowledge. He felt that there was a secret of nature that he had to find, something beyond the limits of ordinary human vision. So, when the whispers grew stronger, ZULKARNAIN decided to embark on a great journey. His people gathered in the royal square when he announced his intention. ZULKARNAIN announced that he would explore the world, penetrate the wilderness, and face various challenges in order to achieve his goal. With the blessing of his people, he prepared to set out, accompanied by loyal soldiers and chosen guides. Preparations for this journey were not simple. ZULKARNAIN and his team brought enough supplies to survive the long and difficult journey. Every piece of equipment, food, and protective clothing was carefully prepared. ZULKARNAIN also brought an ancient map he had obtained from an old hermit, which supposedly held clues to reaching the edge of the world. They traversed valleys and mountains, leaving behind a comfortable life for a great quest. In the distance, mountain peaks and untouched jungles began to greet them. Their journey brought them both hope and unexpected challenges. After several days of traveling, ZULKARNAIN's group arrived at the border of a foreign country. The country was filled with dense forests that looked very dark, even during the day, as if hiding an ancient secret. The local residents they met looked scared. They reminded ZULKARNAIN not to continue the journey because it was considered an action that could disturb something that should not be disturbed. His people and soldiers began to have doubts, but ZULKARNAIN remained determined to find the truth. Those who heard it felt more confident to accompany this journey. Driven by faith, ZULKARNAIN realized that this was a test. At first, he thought this journey would be in vain, but then he remembered the teachings of the experts of wisdom who emphasized the importance of humility in facing all challenges. He knew that the supernatural creatures in this forest were part of the test he had to go through. His prayer that night was full of hope. ZULKARNAIN asked for strength and determination to get through this obstacle. The next morning, after a night of restless rest in the forest, ZULKARNAIN and his entourage continued their journey. The further they walked, the quieter the forest became. There was no sound of birds, no wind moving, as if they had entered another world. Tree roots snaked around every corner of the road, and thick fog hung in the air, creating a mysterious scene. Before them, the ground cracked and emitted a strange smell, as if it was a sign of something unusual. There was a river with water as black as ink. ZULKARNAIN stopped for a moment, feeling something different in that place. Suddenly, a thunderous sound was heard from the river, like the roar of a huge creature they had never seen before. Unexpectedly, from the hanging mist emerged the figure of a giant snake with scales that were as sharp and gleaming as metal. The soldiers took a few steps back, shocked and frightened by the sight of such a large creature. The snake had eyes that glowed red, and its gaze was directly fixed on ZULKARNAIN. With a deep and powerful voice, the snake spoke, "O human, who dares to step into the territory of the Dark Guardian? Are you ready to face inevitable death?" ZULKARNAIN did not back down. Memories of his challenging journey strengthened his heart. He stared at the giant snake and spoke with rare courage. The snake nodded slowly and said, "You speak with courage I have rarely encountered, O human. But even if your intentions are pure, no human should cross the boundaries of this world." Without permission from his guards, ZULKARNAIN nodded, understanding the rules that applied in this strange place. He felt that the snake was a wise creature, not just a heartless guard, so he bowed his body as a sign of respect and said, "If so, allow me to listen to your advice, O guardian of nature. What must I do to be able to continue this journey?" The giant snake smiled, showing its sharp teeth. "If you want to continue your journey, you must prove your courage and sincerity. In the middle of this river, there is a large stone that is believed to hold the secrets of nature. Take the stone and bring it back here. However, remember, the journey to the stone is full of obstacles and trials." Zulkarnain accepted the challenge. He stepped into the bushes that led him to a world full of secrets. The fog around him grew thicker until he could barely see what was in front of him. However, soon after, he arrived in a more open place where the large stone he was looking for was seen standing firmly in the middle of a strange meadow with an unusual bluish color. The stone seemed to emit a faint light, as if it had a calming power, and at the same time, scary. Near the stone, Zulkarnain felt a mysterious aura that made the hair on the back of his neck stand up. However, with strong determination, he approached the stone and placed his hand on its surface. When his hand touched the stone, he suddenly felt himself in a flow of extraordinary energy, like glimpsing the secrets of the universe. In his vision, Zulkarnain saw a picture of a peaceful world, but threatened by the power of darkness. He saw supernatural beings who guarded nature, as well as humans who wanted power without caring about the balance of nature. The image made him aware of his duty as a ruler, which is to maintain balance, not only for himself, but also for the world. Every step he takes strengthens his determination to protect the world from the forces that want to destroy it. He realized that this journey was not only for him, but also for all beings. At that moment, he was followed by a giant snake that looked at him with respect. "You have shown your courage and sincerity, O Zulkarnain. I will allow you to pass through this region. May your journey bring peace to all the worlds." Zulkarnain bowed his body as a sign of gratitude to the snake before continuing his journey towards the edge of the world. After leaving the snake guard, Zulkarnain and his entourage continued their journey towards the edge of the world. However, not long after, they arrived at a very deep and dark ravine. The abyss is a place where supernatural powers and invisible creatures reside. "O ordinary human, why did you come to this place?" a voice echoed in the air. Zulkarnain realized that he had to cross the chasm to reach his destination, but he also knew that crossing it would not be easy. Across the chasm, blurred shadows seemed to move quickly, as if waiting for something. His soldiers began to hesitate, but Zulkarnain remained steadfast. He raised his hands and said in a loud voice, "We must continue forward. Don't let fear take control of our hearts." With full confidence, he stepped forward, followed by his group who began to gain courage. The journey to the edge of the world continued. In the fog, shadowy figures appeared that seemed to be lurking from a distance. One of the shadows approached and turned into an old man with a black robe that hung down to the ground. The man stared at Zulkarnain with a sharp gaze and said, "O ruler from a distant land, are you ready to face the final test before entering the boundaries of the world?" Zulkarnain nodded, assuring the man that he was ready to face anything to achieve his goal. The old man then raised his hand, and with a gentle but powerful movement, he opened a portal that looked like a water mirror. Before Zulkarnain lay the decision he had faced before. This test was not only a test of his physical abilities or the glory he had achieved, but also his humility and sincerity in accepting his shortcomings. When he looked at all the reflections with sincerity, the shadows disappeared. The black-robed old man smiled with satisfaction. "You have passed this test, Zulkarnain. Continue your journey, and you will find what you seek." Zulkarnain and his group stepped across the ravine towards the next realm. After passing through the underworld full of mysteries and trials, Zulkarnain and his entourage finally arrived at a quiet and brightly lit place. Before them stretched a vast expanse full of light, as if they had reached the end of the world. Zulkarnain felt something different here, a calmness that enveloped him and his entourage. In the middle of the expanse, he saw a large rock, and on it sat a figure that was not like a human, but had an extraordinary aura. The figure greeted Zulkarnain with a deep and authoritative voice. "Welcome, Zulkarnain. You have reached the end of the world." Zulkarnain respected the figure. He knew that this creature was no ordinary creature and might hold the answers to all the mysteries he sought. The last guardian then told Zulkarnain that the boundary of the world was where all the secrets of nature gathered, created as the embodiment of the balance between light and darkness. "The power here is great and can change the world. Jata, the guardian, but only those with pure hearts and wise minds can understand its power. You have proven your courage and wisdom on this journey, but there is one final thing you must understand," the guard said. Zulkan listened attentively as the guard explained, that his true mission is to maintain the balance of the world, not simply to seek power or answers to his curiosity. There, he realized that the world was made up of various elements that influenced each other and shaped its leader. The harmony between them was real, but the crystal light gave him a deep calm and wisdom. It was as if he had a new understanding of the world and life. The soldiers also noticed the change in their leader. ZULKARNAIN was no longer passionate only for glory, but seemed wiser and calmer. Along the way, their group passed through the villages they had crossed before. However, this time ZULKARNAIN greeted the residents. "There is news that a neighboring kingdom has planned an attack to take over our territory," said one of the advisors. ZULKARNAIN'S decision not to go to war surprised his advisors and soldiers. Some even questioned his wisdom. However, ZULKARNAIN remained firm in his position. He believed that the conflict could be resolved without war, and he wanted to maintain peace between the kingdom and its neighbors. The meeting between ZULKARNAIN and the king of the neighboring kingdom was tense. However, with calmness and wise words, ZULKARNAIN managed to change the king's view. He offered peace and alliance, and conveyed that the happiness of the people was more important than the personal ambition of a leader, and prosperity with the teachings of wisdom. ZULKARNAIN stood with crystal light radiating from the monument behind him. True power is not about conquering, but about creating balance and bringing peace, he said in a calm voice. His words touched the hearts of everyone present. After ZULKARNAIN died, his kingdom remained strong, run by successors who followed in his footsteps. The crystal monument became a place of pilgrimage for many people from all over the world, a reminder that true power comes from wisdom and wise thinking. ZULKARNAIN has taught us that the journey to wisdom is a harmony between the soul and a clear mind. He gives us the power to be a superior person, think clearly, and make decisions with wisdom. All of these are invaluable legacies. See you in the next interesting stories. Keep being the best version of yourself and never stop learning from every journey. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you, and see you later.